Hello everyone, time for more live feed action. What a day. What a day. It's just been a day of live feeds and stuff ups. But we're good. We're sweet. We're wicked. Right, I'm going to rotate that twice. The reason I rotate the camera twice, for anyone wondering, is it stops the light going up and down, playing up on me. Whew. Right, so I'm going to give you guys a memento to join. If anyone wants to join, if you don't, that's cool. I'll go and do something else. While I wait, I'm going to start tinkering. Quickly get ahead. Lovely. Alright. Lovely. Someone's with us. Who are you? I can't see who you are because Facebook's crap. Who joined me? Sorry, I just had to change the setting. That's why the feed froze for a momento. Right. Ivy's joined us. Hello, Ivy. How are you? Good, I hope. Nick's with us. Hello, Nick. From Canada, eh? Oh, what's that all about? Sorry if you find that offensive. It's all jokes and fun here, mate. Right, so, in this particular live feed today, what a day. In this particular live feed, I'm going to be pulling the V8 out of the extra speed 334mm extended chassis and opening it up and such and so forth and so on. So I've got to undo so many bolts. Why do I do it? Mike's joined us. Hello, Mike. Right. So now I have to remember which bolts I need to undo and try and remember where they go. Steve's joined us. Hello, Steve. Right. I think I might have to plug my fan in too because it's getting quite warm in this garage. Undo those two, which is my transfer. Ugh. Jeebus. Right. Hello, mate. What are you up to? Undo. Right, so for this big V8 donkey motor, whatever you want to call it, there is 4 main bolts. Here in the back, and then there's 4 in the front. That's what holds the motor in. Now, if you want to make it easy, you would take the wheel off, but I'm going to cheat and not take the wheel off. Will's joined us. Hello, Will. More live feeds. Ideally, there was only going to be 2, but because we had a couple of stuff-ups, there's like 4. But it's fine. It's all good. Right, so we're going to undo this one. And then I undo 2 on the other side, and then I've got to undo 2 drive shafts, and then I have to, then I think I can take it out. Chris has joined us. Hello, Chris. We're back. Sorry it took so long. Had a good old chit chat with Mum on the phone. You got to talk to your mums, all right? If you get the chance, you give your mum a call and say hello. Catch up on the gossip. All right. Undo. So, Mr. Gollum's joined us. Hello, Robert. Shouldn't be too long now, and I'll be able to pull this motor out, and then I can open it up and just check the spur gear and pinion gear mesh, just to make sure that's Mickey Mouse. Something I did notice, actually, for anyone that's got one of these trucks, or one of the extra speed trucks with the differentials the same as these, I noticed I had a fair bit of slop movement. And the reason was the grub screw that holds the axle in the differential had actually backed out a bit. So that was letting the axle inside the diff move a lot. I mean, it still moves a little bit, but that there, I'm happy with. Before, it was like from here to here. It was a lot. Tony's joined us. Hello, Tony. Right, so that's undone, that's undone. I'm gonna plug my fan in. Bear with me. It's getting hot in my garage. Fan, plug in, please. Lovely. Right, tell me if that makes a horrible noise. Don't just say it does if it doesn't, because that'll just be not funny. Okay. Right. What do I need? I need to undo the drive shaft. Undo that there, so we can take the front one off. So what's everyone up to? Did anyone else go and get some lunch or dinner, depending on where you're from? undo that one. Now they're very tight to get out. Now I've got to undo the straight shaft, which goes between my transfer case and the bearing holder in the middle, centre bearing holder. Yoink. Now I've got to yoink the next one out. Do I? There's not one in the next one. I figured how that goes together. I think I have to take that piece out. It's a pretty substantial bit of nonsense to take this motor out, but it is what it is. Jason Hoyer's joined us. Thanks for joining, Jason. Welcome to part 50,000 of today's live feed sessions. What I will do after this one, I will go and label the one that was before this one as part 1, and the ones that were before that I will probably just delete, because there was nothing important in them really. Right. So, whip that out. Now, if I'm correct, that should all... that part comes out. Robert's just finished lunch. What did you have for lunch, Rob? I haven't got round to lunch yet, because I went straight from doing this to on the phone to Mum. Right. So, 1 V8 motor. Wires soldered onto the front. I do have a fan on there as well. That's what this is for. Just to keep everything cool and happy. Now, I'm not going to... I'm tempted to cut those. And then I can solder a Dean's plug onto it. But then I've got to solder. Pizza? You had pizza for lunch? I'm going to do it. I'm going to cut that. Yoink. Oh, hang on. Before I do, I colour it. Oh, it doesn't matter. Or does it? I'll figure it out. Worst case, just figure it out. It'll be fine. So what I'm going to do with this later, and I should have done this to start with, but I never really planned on pulling the original motor out. Okay. What I'm going to do with these 2 wires, and I'll do it on the feed, all going well. I'm going to put a Dean's plug on here. I'm going to put a Dean's plug on these 2 wires that are on the truck. You can't see it. You don't really need to. Yoink. I'm going to put a Dean's plug on there, and I'm going to put a Dean's plug on the truck wires, so that if I ever want to change the motor out, I can just unplug it. And yes, you can run, especially a brushed motor, you can run them on a Dean's plug and everything's happy. Okay? Even if you run it on 3S. Adam's joined us. Hello, Adam. Right, so now I'm going to pull apart my V8 motor. And I believe they're all big bolts. 2.5s. First, the air cleaner comes off. Some of these bolts are pretty long. Right. Air cleaner off. This is actually 2 parts. Okay? So what we can do is, and what we will do, is we'll paint the air filter piece one colour, and we'll probably leave the top the silver, because we're going to leave the rockers silver, and we're going to paint the lines in the rockers. All a part of the detailing process. Now, that bolt stays where it is, and that's easy. Because of where the bolts are in this motor, the 2 bolts that are with our rocker cover, we keep with our rocker covers. Then we know where they go. Alright, so that's your first step. This is Smart RC 101. This is how you know exactly where everything goes back. Right, so we've got 1 bolt there. Undo the other bolt. Right. Now, yoink, I'm going to sit my first bolt that I took out in the hole. I'm going to set that aside so I know that those bolts are for those and they're in the right spot. And I'll do the same on the other side. This is called making your life easy. Yoink. Don't forget, people, if you think anyone else would like to watch the nonsense that we do here, feel free to give it a share. Shares are greatly appreciated. Right. Second rocker cover off, slide bolts through holes. Lovely. Set that aside. Now, this is the side of our engine. And there it is. This is going to be hard for me to show. Jeremy's joined us. Hello, Jeremy. There's 2 bolts up the top. There's a bolt there. 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 There's a bolt. 2 bolts under there. So, the best way to do this is we start at the top. we take our 2 bolts out. And we're going to set them on our bench in order of where we took them out. So these will go at the far back, 1, 2. This is just making your life easy. Okay, 1, 2. Now the next ones we've got to take out are this one and this one. So we'll take these out. And then I'm going to set them just below, yeah, there's a few in here, Rob, just below the 2 that I've just taken out. So essentially I'm recreating the bolt pattern on my bench with the bolts so that I know where they go back in. Yoink. Ooh. So yeah, there is a few bolts that hold this on. And then there's 3 bolts on the back that hold the transfer case on. Right. Yoink. Okay, that's that one. Now we've got this one down here. So if you do it like this, you know where everything goes, and it just makes your life a little bit less stressful. Easy. Work smart, not hard. That one goes there, and then this one goes below it. So I've already opened this up. I've greased it. I know it's greased fine. Just want to check that gear, because that was something I forgot to check. And then we can smash it all back in the truck. We can solder that Dean's plug on and make it all purdy. All purdy like. Come out. Okay, that one goes there. How many have we got left? 2. This one goes down below. So yes, there's a few bolts in these motors. They are proper heavy duty motors. I couldn't tell you what the actual brushed motor is that's in it. That I don't know. It's just a black. Go there. It's just a black brushed motor. If I had to guess, I would assume it's a 27 turn motor. This one. And that one goes above that one. Right. So I think this is the last one. Then I'll take the transfer case off the back. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Now, question for those of you watching. If I did live streams on YouTube, would you guys watch them? Right, right. Now all I have to do is undo this one, and this one. So that one, and that one. And then we can take the transfer case off the back, and then we can split the motor in half. Here goes, joined us. Hello, mate. Thanks for joining. I don't know if is it Heiko? You'll have to try and write a descriptive word in the comments so that I know I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It would be handy to know how many turns. Exactly, Robert. Yep. It would be. Maybe when I message Racing and about the Racing extra speed about the instructions with my little suggestion box idea, I'll ask them. Okay, so that's our transfer, separate unit, bolts straight on the back of this. Look at this, right? Look at this. Right, now I have to take off 4 bolts on the front, which is a part of the fan mount setup. Forgot about this bit. So yes, there's a lot of bolts. A lot of bolts that have got to be undone to get inside this motor. I keep dropping my driver. 1, 2, right, so we'll sit these 4 off to the side. And then once this is undone, I'll sit this with them. So yes, once we do this, we can open it up. And I can show you guys all the gears and such that are inside this beast. It is a pretty epic setup. You'd have a lunch break between undoing all these bolts. So if you've joined us, Facebook's not telling me everyone that's joined. If you've joined us, say hello. Don't be shy. We don't do shy here. We're all friendly, kind, funny, humorous people. We have our moments. Right. What's that being held by? Oh, those wires. Straighten those out a bit. I've got to pull the motor wires through here. Right. So that's my fan piece off the front off. So now Now I can open up the donkey, the motor. Right, so this, please don't drop this. Let me just see if I can hold this. So that's what's inside here. All Metal Gears, chunky Metal Gears. Roro's joined us. Hello, Roro. Scott, how are you, mate? I didn't see you join. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. So this is the gears inside this gearbox, and then of course there's the dealy gear, the pinion gear on the motor. So we've got all these bad boys. There's some chunkiness in there. Now what makes this difficult is I want all the gears in this side so that I can line it up. Come on, brain. There we go. I want all the gears in that side. Lovely. That worked a lot better than expected. Okay, so I need to wipe away some grease so I can see my gap. Grab out my favourite greasy rag. I'm just going to wipe the grease off my pinion gear. Wipey wipey. I know you guys can't really see a whole lot of what I'm doing, and I apologise for that, but it's a bit of a tricky spot to show. I want to take that gear out, and I want to take that gear out, and I have to remember where they go. They can only fit one way, so relax. And I just want to wipe any grease away so that I can see exactly what I'm doing. That's probably the most important step here. If you can't see what you're doing, you're going to be in a world of trouble. That doesn't look bad. So what I'm doing, for those that don't know, here you'll see I've got my pinion gear, I've got my spur gear, right? I'm checking the gap between this and this to make sure it's not too tight. That's a 540. By the looks of it, Steve, Robert. Looks like 540. I know that there's a motor I prepared earlier. Yeah, it's the same as your actual can. It's a touch longer than your actual can. I wonder what turn it is. I wonder. Anywho. So, I'm just going to wipe off some more grease so I can see exactly what I'm doing. I know this is probably a touch boring. I apologise for that if it is. But it's sort of one of those things I have to do. I have to make sure that gear's down in there properly when I do it. Could probably be a smidge looser, I'm thinking. And to do that, I have to undo more bolts. Yeah, it is a touch longer. Yoink. So maybe I'll do some asking around and I'll see if I can find out exactly what sort of motor it is, what turns is and such. Good Englishes. And who knows, we could end up smashing one of those racing new crawler motors in it. Because unfortunately, this does not tell me anywhere what it is. Which is a shame. Right, so that bolt's on. Which way? That way, that was at the top. So I'm going to ever so slightly adjust this by loosening two bolts, just a smidge. I don't want to loosen them too much. And I want to make this go slightly further away. There, that's enough. I moved that probably 1/8 of a millimetre. Official measurement. I'm not going to know how good it is until I put it in the truck. You can loosen this off. This is the top where the adjuster is. So you can ever so slightly loosen that off, put it in here, bolt the clamp down so it's sitting where it needs to sit. Then move the motor slightly and then just nip up the top one so it can't move, take it out, tighten it and put it back in. Probably should have done it that way. That already seems better, I think. Let me tighten the things down. Right, which were the two bolts? I am my own worst enemy. Those two. This is why you set bolts in different spots, okay? So that you remember which one goes where. Is that starting? Yes. Got one of those Hackmoto 16 just to try it out. Okay, when did you order that, dude? Hopefully mine will turn up possibly today. And if they do, I'll have to plan what trucks I'm going to put them in so I can do a live feed, so I can put them in the trucks in the live feed, and then I can show you guys all about the motors and such. I'm pretty excited about those, if I'm honest. Right. I think that's better. We've got a slight gap there. I think we're good. I think we're good. Last week, so mine should turn up before yours. Because that's important. Right, so I'm going to put my gearbox back together in the correct order that they go in. Yes, lovely. Right. I don't need to put any grease in there because I've already smothered it all with grease. Let me just, I've got to double, triple, ultra check that all this is tight. Once you set your gear, make sure that you tighten up your motor bolts. If you're unsure, do what I'm doing right now. Pull it back out and make sure. Because you don't want to get 20 minutes into a trail and then you go, why is that making a funny noise? Because the reason why is because you didn't do what you're supposed to do properly. Alright, so take that back out. Tighten these up. I did tighten it up. Right, just got to make sure. Does anyone else here? Feels like it's just me and you. Apparently there's 5 people with us, Robert. Apparently there's 5. Hey, nothing wrong with an intimate live feed, mate. Jeffrey Rose just joined us. There you go. There's another one. Robert's feeling a little lonely. How are you, Jeffrey? Right. So now we can put it back together. We can solder on my Dean's plugs. We can put it back in the truck. And then we can fire it all up. And hopefully it's Mickey Mouse. Was that one of your comments on that action figure, Robert? Mickey Mouse? Because I use that a lot. Lovely. Oh, I think that's going to be awesome. Right. So, put this back on. Now, after I put all my bolts in, then I'm going to grab my rag and I'm going to wipe all the grease off the motor that I've just put on everything. So, now, this is why we had our bolts in certain positions. Because now we can go back through and do them all up in the order that we took them out. And goes that one. That engine looks good. Wait till we scale it out, Steve. Eh? Wait till we put on the scale details. Now, something I will say. With the last one that I did, and I'm going to do the same with this one because it looked good. Stuff like the spark wires and such, well, you glue those onto the motor. So, if at some stage you're going to pull your motor apart, you may have to just pull the glue apart where you glue the wires on. But it's no biggie. It's no biggie. These are the things we do for scale. Neil's joined us. Australia, Neil. Wait for it. He'll say it. You watch. There he goes. How are you, Neil? Thanks for joining, buddy. Good to see you. Actually, something I will do. I'm going to pull that transfer case and check that for Chris too, because I can't remember if I did it. Whoops. I can't remember everything, guys. So while we've got it apart, we'll check that. Oh, here we go. Now it's going to be Aussie. And then the Americans will go, America! Beep, yeah! America, baby! Right, do this one up. I probably could have put a shorter bolt in this one. And it doesn't help I've got grease all over my hands too. Give me a summary of tonight's stream. Well, it's lunchtime here, so it's not night. So there's that. Also, this is the second stream. Well, it's about the fourth stream of the day, but we're going to call it the second one, and we're going to delete the evidence that there was shitty ones before it. The first stream we did earlier today, we installed the extra speed cantilever kit in the TRX4, which was fun. It's actually a really impressive kit. Melinda's joined us. Hello, Melinda. Where's my tent? I want my tent. I want that little tent. Okay? Anyway, it was my birthday the other day. Could have given me the tent for my birthday. Anywho, I digress. So we installed the cantilever kit in the TRX4, and that gives it a lot more flex, a lot more rear suspension travel. It's epically smooth. Epically smooth. Once I get all this back in the truck, Neil, I'll show you. Right. I've got too much grease on my hands. I'm going to wipe off the grease off the motor, otherwise I'm going to drop it and smash my desk, because this thing is heavy. Right, so now I can put the rockers back on, and I can put the air filter back on, and then I'll crack open the dealie, also known as the transfer case, and I'll just make sure that's all greased up. Lovely. Right, so this goes on. Stay. Lovely. Neil says, "Oh, I need to see that." It's a pretty impressive kit, actually. I'm quite pleased with it. I wanted something that would carry the weight of the back of my truck a bit better, Neil. Because, I mean, as good as the factory shocks are in the TRX4, and they are brilliant. They really are. As far as factory shocks go, they're probably some of the best you get, the TRX4 ones. Right, do that up. Like watching a surgeon at work. Scalpel. Do you mean surgeon or idiot? So yes, we installed that. I'm getting sidetracked now. Mum was just... my mum joined on the feed, Neil. She wasn't on the video, but she popped in and she said hello and she took the piss and she left. It was pretty cool having Mum hop in and say hello and whatnot. It was good. Everyone was well behaved, except for my mum. She's a funny bugger. Right. Dealie is a technical term. Bet your ass it is. So what I'm going to do now, blow the sand off this dealie, sand all over my bench because this truck was covered in sand. I'm going to bolt this dealie to the bigger dealie and make it look like a nice dealie. Okay? Dealies all round. If I can concentrate enough. There? Is it there? It's there. Right. Yoink. We like yoink here too. That's a pretty common term. So you can hear the weight in that motor. It's cray. Crazy. Cray. I'm not 10. Okie dokes. So this is our transfer. 2 bolts. Under those 2 bolts we can open it up and we can check how much grease it's got in it. I can't remember if I greased it or not. So I'm going to check. And given it's only 2 bolts, why not check it? I've got the grease sitting on the bench should I need it. The world's finest threaded bolts. It's taking me forever to do this stuff. Extra speed, Neil. It's all extra speed. I like my extra speed stuff. Right. Could do with a bit of grease. Could do with a bit of grease. So I'm going to grab my King Chrome multi-purpose grease. I use it in everything. It's brilliant. Brilliant stuff. I'm going to grab a clean bit of grease. I'm going to smash a bit on this gear. Now I don't want to overdo it. because it's a small space, this transfer case, which means it's easier to get binding, and we don't want binding. We don't want to make it hard work for all this to move. So I'm going to twist this, which will spread our grease from one end to the other. Lovely. Chris has joined us. David's joined us. Hello, fellas. I can see that grease spreading around now. Wicked. You guys can't. I'm sorry about that. It's not that exciting to watch, really. Smidge more. I'm going to go a smidge more. I'm going to take this end gear out. I find the grease that a lot of companies use is just a smidge too tacky for my liking. This stuff that's in here is just a smidge tacky. Poke that bearing back in because we don't want that. We don't lose that. That'll be a disaster. Official term. Dollop of grease in there. Drop that gear back in there. Squish him in there. Squish, lovely. Your new nickname is the Crawler Bowler because your stuff is so nice. Where do you guys come up with this stuff? You're a worry now. You are a worry, my friend. Right, we'll do this up and then we'll wipe the excess grease off it that I managed to put on everything. And then we'll reinstall it onto the motor, and then we can reinstall the motor in the truck. Actually, I'll do the Dean's plug first because that'll be smart. But now I know this is all greased up, the motor's greased up, the mesh is set properly. We're sweet. This should be awesome. Right. Yoink. Move that out of my way. Wipe all the grease off. Chris says, how is everyone this Arvo? I'm pretty good, mate. Pretty good. I'm on the 15,000th live feed for today. We're good. We're going well. Lovely. Lovely. Push the grease out of there. Yoink. Just so we don't have a blobby mess everywhere. Yoink. Right. Now we're going to attach this back to our motor. This way. Lovely. Get on. Wicked. 3 bolts, these ones. Confused myself there. Yoink. Yoink. Now, if there's anything you guys want to see, I'm going to be doing some soldering in a minute. So, if you're not up with how to solder or you want to learn the basics, because what we're going to do is basic, we're going to be soldering on a male Dean's plug and a female Dean's plug. I need to look in my drawer and find one of each. Scale T cases never cease to amaze me. This one's pretty epic. This whole motor is just epic. It's heavy. It is heavy. It's about the weight of an American soda. So like 20-something kilos. In all seriousness, no, that's at least 2 cans of Coke heavy. At least. Probably 3. This is a weighty bit of kit. Lovely. Now, I'm just going to spin it. I think we're sweet. Is the iron hot? No, the iron's not hot, Robert. I'm getting there, man. I've got to wipe the grease off my hand so that the iron doesn't slip out of my hand, land in my lap, and cause massive issues. Right. Helping hand. A must for those that like to solder. An old soldering iron that's been better than any expensive soldering iron I've purchased. A blob of solder. We're sweet so far. Right. Male plug. There's got to be a female one here somewhere. No, that's another male. For those wondering, that's my top drawer of many things. Prior preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance. I wouldn't know. I don't plan anything. I just do stuff. Right. Female plug. Now, I should be able to... Let me just do a test piece here. Yoink. I reckon we'll get away with that. Heat shrink. I've got everything just sitting here ready to go because I'm prepared. Hey, Jeffrey, I'm prepared. Right, yoink, 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 yoink. That piece is probably a touch long, but it doesn't really matter. So while that heats up, I'm going to, ever so carefully, take my knife and run around the outside of the sheathing. I'm going to grab my little pliers, or maybe, yep, I found it, it's good. We need a right counter in the corner. Oh, for every time I say right. Why do I do these live feeds again? Right, so we've got that one done. Neil. Yoink this one off. Come on. Yoink. Now, whilst that's still heating up, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll set up my helping hand so as I can tin my plugs. Now, if you want to see what I'm doing, I'll try and leave everything. I'll probably spin it around that way because I'm left-handed, but I'll try and do it so you guys can see what I'm doing. What you need to do is swipe the comments out of the way in a moment, not right now, but in a moment, so that you can see how I tin the wires and how I solder on the plugs. So bear with me, uno momento. Strip these, and I do have to chase the positive wire to remember which one it is. What I'm surprised by, Neil, is how many people like these live feeds and say, when's the next one? Did you watch this one? Come on, come off. It's separated. Yoink. It's good fun, this hobby, isn't it? Bloody good fun. Okay, so chasey. Now I've got to suss out which one's the power wire for my motor. That one, which is it that one? No, it's not. It's that one. Bear with me while I make sure I'm correct. That one's power, so it's on that side, which is that side. That's my power. Okay. What I'm going to do, so that I don't forget that it's power, is mark it with my chrome pen. So now I know which one's the positive. Little things like that make your life very easy. Trust me. Right. What I'll do now, so I don't forget, I'm going to slide my heat shrink all the way down these motor wires, so I know that I can just solder it, and bingo bingo. I'll do the same on the truck wires, so slide my heat shrink over. I'm going to trim that one a touch, it's a bit long. Fun but wallet intensive, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. There's a lot of stuff that I've purchased for live feeds to show other people how to do stuff that I don't want, I don't need, I don't use. Okay, so that is my positive. Right, now I'm going to swing this around this way and I'm just going to tin these plugs. So if you'd like to swipe the comments out of the way, you'll see what I'm going to do. I'll start with, I'll start with this one here. Okay, I'm going to swipe the comments out of the way too for a moment, just so that I can see exactly how it looks and to make sure it makes sense. I'm going to put a little bit of solder on my iron, and I'm going to hold my iron onto the terminal. I'm going to keep holding it there until I see that it sort of goes a coppery colour and sticks to it. Have I got enough there? No, I don't. Need some more. Right. You can see and you can't see. I don't want to adjust my phone because last time I did, I wrecked the live feed. Let me just put some solder on here. Lovely. Put some on here. And then I'll show you what it looks like. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm holding my solder to the Dean's plug. I'm holding my soldering iron there as well. Once I get a bit of solder blobbed up, I take this out of the way. And I just move my soldering iron around the terminal a bit to the point where you end up with a nice chrome looking piece of solder stuck to your terminal. If it's not stuck there, you're doing it wrong. Yoink. Turn these so I can do the other sides. Which way do I want this? I'm going to have to turn the whole thing. The old dearly. Lovely. I'll quickly do these and then I'll show you how they look. Now don't hold your soldering iron on the plug too long. It is possible to melt the plug, and then when you melt it, it actually lets the terminals in the plug move, which therefore make them bloody impossible to plug in. Lovely. Right. That plug is still quite warm, but you can see there's a blob of solder on there. That's well stuck there, and there's one there. Now I'm going to tin the wires essentially the same way. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Actually no, I'll use this to hold it so it's steady Eddie. Right, I'm going to hold my soldering iron. Now if you're commenting, I'll get to it in a moment. I'm going to hold my soldering iron on the wire. I'm going to add a little solder to the soldering iron. And then I'm sort of just going to wait until it pulls the solder in through the wires. You won't get a good connection unless that solder goes right through. That's Mickey Mouse. Once it goes right through, add a tiny smidge of excess on the outside. We'll see why later. Right. I'll do the same on this side. When you first start doing this, it's not going to go to plan. It will go a bit shitty. You know, your solder might not cooperate. But once you get the hang of it and you've done it a couple of times, it gets easier. You will have to take my word for it. So now I'm waiting. I can see the solder getting sucked into everything. I am going to do a how-to solder video on YouTube, and I will focus the camera extremely close on the wire so you can see everything sucked right in there and you'll understand what I mean. Right, so that's those ones. I now need to bring my chassis over and do these ones too. This is why you need a helping hand, because it helps you hold stuff. It makes your life easy. This particular helping hand cost me about $15, and it's been an absolute godsend. Heaty. You can see all the solder going into the wire. Add a smidge extra. Lovely. Brilliant. Right. Ristos has joined us. Hello, Ristos. Use different colour heat shrink. Well, you can. It all depends on what you want to do. If you want to be Captain Anal and you want to build a truck and it's when people look underneath it, it's for the most part black, use black. You'll notice all of these wires are covered in sheathing, so it's black. That's why I'm using black. But you can use red, red and black, or red and yellow, or blue and whatever heat shrinks to colour coordinate what different wires are for. generally I like to try and set my trucks up so that your wiring's obvious. So winch wire, it's obvious. You can see where it goes, you can see what it does. Motor wire, it's obvious. The motor itself has actually got a little red dot for the positive. So if you're taking the motor out, you can trace it. How I've laid the wires out on my chassis, you can actually trace which one goes to the positive on the ESC, because I've left this much red wire on the ESC, so you know which one it is. Right, so that's got those. I said right again. I'm going to say it all the time now. Thanks for that, fellas. That's my positive for my truck. I'm going to put a female plug on it. Positive there. Right. Now, I'm going to swipe the comments out of the way. I'm going to try and make it so it's a little bit easier for you to see. Oh, I'm not used to using my new phone yet, and it's got buttons in places where it probably doesn't need buttons, and you can push the side of the phone in and that's a button and stuff and things. Let me see if I can I zoom? Oh, I can zoom. Wicked. Right. Okay, so you can now, come on focus, you can now see the little blob that we've put on our plug. I can actually have comments too, lovely. Right, can you turn it horizontal? Oh, don't think so, Robert. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, I'm going to move the chassis this way a bit. I'm going to hold my wire on here. I'm going to heat up. I'm going to put a bit of solder on my solder first. Heat up both of these and hold these down. I might actually trim just a smidge off the end of this. Just a smidge. Just so that it's a bit tidier. See that? Lovely. Refocus. Trying. There we go. Right, so this is how I do Dean's plugs, and it seems to work alright. If it doesn't, I swear, and then I'll do it again. Okay? So I'm just going to put a bit of a blob. Try and get it so you can see it. There's a blob on there. Take my word for it. Now, I'm doing this a bit backwards so that you guys can see it, but hold this on here. Hold your solder on top of everything, and it should heat up all the solder, including, come on, stuff on the plug. It's all moving. Bear with me. Urgh. I've got to try and rejig the jig. I've got everything extended too far and it's allowing it to move. Twist this one. Sorry if this is a bit of a pain, but I'm normally not doing it. I'm normally not doing it in front of the camera. Let me heat up a bit of this. Right, heat up. Come on, heat. The problem I'm having is my thing keeps moving while I'm trying to heat, and it shouldn't. What part's actually moving? That part in the middle is. Bear with me, peoples. I'll rejig this so it's tighter. Lovely. Hopefully that's better. Where's that? There. Lovely. Hopefully now it'll work. So I'll heat up my solder. I'm going to heat up this solder too if it'll cooperate. I want the two to sort of blend together. Heat, solder. Oh, don't knock the phone over. It's too difficult. This is painful. Now, generally this works a lot better. It works a lot better than when you're trying to do the stuff on a live feed. I'll give you the tip. Because everything's moving and it shouldn't be. That's my issue. There, it's melting. But it's moving. Oh my god! What have I got? I've got to have something here I can prop something up with, because if not, I'm going to lose my shite. It shouldn't move. Bear with me, people. The problem is it's a live feed. You're 100% right there, Robert. If this wasn't a live feed, I would have done it in 2 seconds. try this end. This one. Do this up. Bear with me a minute, people. This is quality content here. Alright, refocus. I need to twist that up a bit so that when this melts, everything pushes down flat. If this wasn't a live feed, it would have worked. Okay? Melt. Please melt. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so focus, focus, focus. Please focus. There we go. That wasn't difficult at all. So now you can see the whole idea generally is you heat up all the solder so that it smushes together and the wire goes where it needs to perfectly. Obviously, because this is a live feed, nothing works perfectly. Chris has got to go. See you, Chris. Thanks for joining, mate. Very much appreciated. Sorry for the terrible soldering viewing here. I'm absolutely butchering this, but live feed. Okay, that's what we put it down to. Let's see if we have a bit more luck with the negative. I don't know how we can see that, or if you can. See how that looks. Like I say, if I'd done it normally, it would have worked perfectly. But because live feed, it's just not cooperating. Heats. Yep, now heat the one on the plug. Come on. Didn't quite heat the plug. There, lovely. That's how it's supposed to work. Brilliant. What a load of honky. Right, for the next one, I'm going to do it normally because I'm not spending all day. I'm not spending all day doing plugs. So I'll do it normally and hopefully... Bloody hell! Sorry people. Bear with me. I'm plugging my charger back in. My charge cord helps keep the phone where it needs to be apparently. My phone slid down and hit the blackout screen button, which is always fun. Not my day for live feeds today. What am I doing today for? Don't move. Bloody hell. Okay, positive, positive, positive. Let's stay positive. Oh dear. Rotate that. This one. We'll do the negative first because that's going to be easier because of which way it's already facing. Going to get myself some solder. So, how's everyone else doing today? What a joke. Heat, heat, heat. Here we go. There we go. Lovely. That's how it's supposed to work. When you do it on a live feed, up close, with a nice view, so people can see it. Yes, I have got heat shrink on that. Remember, I slid it on earlier. You're paying attention, Mr. Gollin? Yes, I have heat shrink on it. Right, rotate my plug. That'd be pretty shitty if I didn't. I'll give you the tip. Bombs would be dropped. Bloody Robert Gold. You got a heat shrink on that? Yes, I do. Right, heat up that. Heat up that. Come on, eat. Eat. Come on. Lovely. And that's how you solder. Lol. Right, unplug that. Sit that way behind me on the floor. Concrete floor, don't panic everyone. So that it can cool down. Now, while that plug cools down, I will slide the heat shrink that I put on earlier up over my shoulders, if it cooperates. Please cooperate. There's not much good about this Friday, eh? What number attempt is this live feed? This is just part 2. The good part 2. I say that, I've already blacked out the screen once. Shut up, Chris. Right. I may have tested my luck with this solder with this heat shrink. It's pretty small, but it should, with a little help, slide over. It should. Come on, just jump up over there. You're nearly there. I should have gone the next size up, but I used what was on the bench, and now I'm paying for it. Eve. That one went over. Except for that bit. Oh, frustration. I'm blaming Mr. Golan for this. Normally people, you use the right size heat shrink and it just goes straight over. Magic stuff. Right, that one's over. 1,000 points for every right. I don't say it like that. Right. Lovely combo. What do these points get me now? What do I get for my points? I think the reason I say right is it's sort of a way of, even for myself, confirming that the current step I was on is now complete and I'm satisfactorily can move on to the next point. Does that make sense? Right. Shrink me, eat shrink. Lovely. Hope this stuff slides up better than that one did. My plan was to have nice tiny little solders, but they didn't quite go as tiny as I wanted them to. Right, that one's on. Lovely. 1 out of 4 is good. Lovely. Magic. Right, because I've got my fan going, I've sort of got to shield this. Otherwise it just blows my lighter out and I can't shrink anything. Right, that's done. Wicked. Maybe speaking of my drink, iced coffee of course. You get these with the action figure. Good shite. Now, for those that haven't seen it, here's the chassis that the motor's going to go back into. This is a pretty extensive job, and that was essentially just to check the pinion and spur mesh. So, if you're new to RCs, don't buy one of these straight off, because for a little job, it's a big job. Okay? With an SCX-10, that's a 5-minute job. Alright? For those of you playing at home. Now, there's a bit of a combo that you need to do here when you put all this back together, so that it's easy to put together. You with me? That goes on there. Front drive shaft goes on. Front drive shaft pin goes in. Now this is me guessing to remember how it goes. Clarkson just says he doesn't like manual labour, Neil. Clarkson's pretty good value. Biggest mistake BBC ever made was getting rid of him. Why can't I get that to go through there? I'm about to drop bombs. And I'm not talking about rap music. Did that twist? Must have twisted. Live feed. Lol. Right, so I'm going to put that on there so that when I slide the motor in, we slide the drive shaft, the front drive shaft together at the same time. That way it all sort of just works, innit? Do you know what I mean? Oh, nearly forgot. I've got to bolt my fan back on. I'm going to have to take the fan off because I'm an idiot. The reason I'm an idiot is because I should have bolted the fan on and then soldered it. The extra speed is SCX10. No, it's not SCX10 based, Neil. Where's the SCX10 base of this? I'm sorry, but this makes SCX10 stuff look cheap. And SCX10 is cheap, especially the first ones. But this is a full-blown, full metal rig, mate. Does this look SCX10ish to you? No. The boys keep getting better. I think the boys are starting to get to the point where they're ready to call it a day. They've stopped, I believe, they've stopped doing like a full season of the Grand Tour now, and they're just doing specials. Because they're not young. They're not young, the original Top Gear boys. Right, take the fan off. Put this doohickey on here. Bolt this to here with 4 bolts. Bolt the fan on, cry, and then put the motor in the truck. Whole lot of wires. Where's that line up? There? Yes. Yeah, she's pretty good show that, I mean, the Grand Tour, the boys said with the Grand Tour it was going to be the same show, just with a different name. They literally cared zero about trying to make it a new show. Excuse me. Yeah, they said it's just going to be the same stuff on a different channel. Which, good on them. They made Top Gear what it was, and they made it work. I feel sorry for anyone that tries to be on the BBC Top Gear after the boys left, because they're big boots not to be able to fill. No one will ever be able to do a show as good as those boys did. Stephen, did you ever go and watch Top Gear live? Right, so I'm winning, believe it or not, people. Sorry if this is boring. If it is, tell me and I'll stop the feed, because no one wants to watch something that's boring. I threw that fan, there it is. Now I need to remember that wire has to be so as it can go out this side. Alright, so now we squish this in here. And then we bolt our fan back in the correct way around. So which way did I have it? That there, that there. Bolt that in here. Right, so then we can bolt our fan back on. Mr. Christian Oliver's joined us. How are you, Christian? You've joined a day of ridiculously stupid live feeds that don't seem to go anywhere. Right. This is today's 4th attempt at a live feed. It was nearly 5th. But we're winning. Robert, Matt LeBlanc, yeah, no kidding, eh? Like, he was good in Friends. Sorry, Matt, but that's where it finished for me. Yeah, you're not a Top Gear presenter. I don't care how funny you used to be 20 years ago. I'm going to have to loosen off the other ones first. Chris, it's good watching the struggles of RC. Look, I'm just one of you guys. It's not like everything I build just falls together and I go, oh, ta-da. I swear a lot too. Just not live feeds. Oh, where are you going, Bolt? Shit. That's your fault, Chris. I've got to take these bolts back out. I dropped that bolt clean through the fan, magnetised to the motor. This is why, generally speaking, when I do stuff on a live feed, it is well planned out. If it's something that looks like it's going to be a McShambles, there we go, I don't do it on a live feed. Because no one wants to sit there and watch some dude not be able to do something. That'll be like watching the new Top Gear. Ooh! Doesn't fall together, falls apart. Hey, not kidding. Top Gear was good when Clarkson... Yeah, exactly. It's not Top Gear anymore, mate. It's just Let's see how much cash we can get out of the name before we say we've got enough cash out, or we've got all the cash we can out of the name. Right. Right. 2 more. And then I can put it back in the truck. This would be ridiculous. Clarkson's wanting to retire. I'm sure he's got enough money to retire, Neil. I mean, the man bought a Ford GT that he never drove anywhere because when they did the import stuff on it, they wrecked it. And it just sits in his garage. Just sits in his garage. Right, fans on. Woo! Jesus. Okay, so now it's a matter of piecing together the rear puzzle to make all this work. You can't just go the motors in the truck because it doesn't work like that, okay? Right, so this transfer case needs to go down through the chassis. When you do that, you hook up your front drive shaft. Of course, making sure it's in phase, because when you do a video on it, you have to do it. Oh, I've got to rotate that and I can't reach it. Where's my pliers? Rotate, thank you. And rotate. Lovely, lovely. That's lined up. Put the drive shaft in. Now the reason we have to do it this way is because trying to get these drive shafts in the truck once the motor's in is a bit of a bitch. It's a very tight space and it doesn't like the idea of fitting. Right, we're going to squeeze that up into here, make sure all the wires are out of the way. There's a little slot in the chassis for the transfer case to go into. I'm going to make sure these wires are out of the way so the motor can move forwards enough to go yoink. That's where it goes. I like how he just dropped it in the chassis. That's Top Gear, mate. That's how the Top Gear boys do it. Where's this one? This can go in and hold the back, if I remember correctly. That should be a 2. At this point in time, we're not going to tighten it right up. We're going to make sure we can get all our bolts started. Alright, that's just a top tip there for free. Because if I do these bolts up, the front ones won't go in. They won't. Alright, so that's going to go in there. And then we're going to install this piece, which is our pass-through. So much stuff on the twack. Of course, we're going to make sure our drive shafts are in phase, because when you do a video on that, you have to do it. Otherwise, Lars will watch this and go, "Is that drive shaft phased properly?" And I'll go, "Yeah." Right, and that's got a part in the chassis that slides into too, but the shaft needs to go in first. There, got it. Lovely. Really snap my fingers off. Right, now I've got to put 2 bolts in this piece, and they're shorter ones. And then I can bolt the front of the motor in. So you drop it in just like you're dropping a 110. Yep. Yep. Drop them down in there. Was that the right one? I think that's the same length. Oh, that one. That one, found it. Right. That goes in there. That holds our centre pass-through in. And Neil thought this was SCX10 based. Well, right, now that one we can do up. Now, I want to do my drive shaft pin. I could probably do this last, but while I'm here I want to do it so I remember, so it's done. Lovely. Winning. Free £40 tub of Loctite with every extra speed purchase. It's not like anything else, mate. You've got to Loctite everything. Not many companies put Loctite on stuff. Cross Loctite's their stuff. I mean, there's Loctite on these bolts that I'm pulling out of here now that I've not pulled out of here. Positive camber. Camber, camber. 0 camber. SCX10's got the negative camber. Right, where am I at? Now I've got to put... Neil's distracting me. Bloody Neil. Worse than that bloody Robert Golan. Will that go straight in? What are the odds? Oh, nailed it. Haven't made one of those, Chris. Haven't made one of those. Right, I'm winning. I'm winning, people. Motor bolts are going in. There's a lot of bolts in this truck. Lot of bolts. Imagine how quick Tony could have the drill out for this. Right. Then we go this one. I've got to remember where I put the shocks are over there for the front. Tray. Spacers are over there too, I believe. I think I've got some in this other tray. Parts everywhere. But we are winning. Has anyone got any questions? How long is this going to take? Oh, I'm sorry, little Timmy. It's going to take forever. I want a longer bolt for this side piece. I do. Oh, there's one of my shock ones. I have one here. What's that one? Don't do. Why am I bloody? It's just what we say, mate. Bloody oath. It's just what we say. It helps us put emphasis on what we want to emphasise. Okie McDokey. Motor is back in. Run these wires either side of the motor, down in behind it. Plug this into here. It's now a runner. What's that plug for? My winch? No, that's my fan. Oh, that's my fan plug. Duh. Plug my fan in. Right. So that should be able to sit down there. Lovely. That can all wire tie to there. And that's how... That's the big chassis. That's how that setup looks. Right? We tidy all this up and set it inside here. We're going to zip tie all this stuff together so it's over out of the way. This one here will come with it too. You can see it's got the bend in it because that's how it was before. But that's our setup there. Look at that. And then I've got the servo plug underneath, which at some stage I'm going to change that. I'm just going to extend this all the way to the end. But for now, I say, oh look, it's plugged in. That does need to be up here. That needs to be up here. And then we plug that in. Make sure it's the correct way. Right there. This is how my brain works. I talk to myself as I do it, because I like a professional opinion. White there. Was the white this side? God, yes. Plug that in there. While I'm here, I'm going to grab my marker. I'm going to put a mark here so I know that this side joins to this side. Smart like a fox. So next time if I'm faffing with that, I don't have to panic about, oh, which side goes where. Neil, I know how to use the bloody word. Do you? Do you, Neil? Right. Front shockers. I might have to hunt for a couple of parts here because I've thrown everything into the same tray. Okay, so bolt with spacer. I need more bolts and spacers. Ugh. Okay. Does the top have a spacer? Shit, I can't remember. Has to. Has to, mate. I just forget what one it has. Oops. Chassis So Pimp comes with a Snoop Dogg figure. There is one on the bottom too. Oh no! What have I done with my parts? I forget what I had what now. And where I put everything. That's only a short bolt though. I can't have had much. No shorts for the bottom. Perhaps the bottom doesn't run a spacer. I'll try it. God says. I said Johnny pimped my ride. Oh, well, let's put a fish tank in the back of it. Geez, they wrecked some cars on that show. I mean, I like fish. Let's put a fish tank in your car. Dickheads. Oh, there's just another spacer. So I need one of those. Big spacer on top, little spacer on the bottom, I'm thinking. And a 2 mil, a mil spacer, because I changed the setting. Oh, this is the bottom. That's the top. Sorry if this is taking so long, people. This is what happens when you change stuff and you don't remember what you've done. That and that and that. That goes through, I think it was the middle. Right, and then it has a nut on the other side of it. I remember this much. Hold that there. Lovely. Get this started. Oh, am I going to be able to start that? Yes. Lovely. Winning. Magnetic tray. Another thing that I need. That I don't need. Everyone needs a magnetic tray now. Wish app. You get these magnetic trays. I think for about $2 or $3 each. Cheap. Very cheap, my friend. Right, and then we're going to go... they're all the same size, which is good. That one. Through there. With that one. Like, yeah. And then bolt that to the diff. And then hopefully, if I remember correctly, that's correct. If I don't remember correctly, well, whoops. And I believe that has a nut on the other side of it too. Not that it needs one, but anyway. Sorry if this is boring, guys. Is this boring? Tell me if it is. I mean, I don't get a whole lot out of those, unless it's side-to-side mementos. The one kid had to sell his BC, they didn't actually fix it. What are you talking about, Neil? What are you talking about, mate? Right. So once I've got this back on, I will plug a battery into the truck, turn my mold control on, and I'll see how it sounds. Now, being that it is all metal gears in the motor, was that the second one? Yes. Being that it's all metal gears, it's not going to be like quite as an SCX-10 with plastic gears, alright? It's still going to make some noise. That's just how it is when you have metal gears, especially inside a monstrous metal gearbox. Right, do that one up there. Lovely. Put this one in the bottom. And my truck's just about back together. Yay! And then, once that's done, we're going to call her a day. I reckon. Ugh. Oh, because it didn't... Oh, pimp my ride. Yeah. I'm sure there was a few cars like that now. I wonder how many people saw that car and went, "What you did? What you did to my car?" I mean, I loved the idea of what they wanted to do. You know, fix up someone's car because they're doing it tough or whatever else. That's awesome. But get Chip Foose to do it. Okay? That's who you get to pimp your car. Chip Foose. No one else. Chip Foose is just the man with cars. No matter what car I had, if he said, "Can I take your car for a week and customise it?" I'd be like, "Okay, Chip." He's pretty damn good. Right, I'm going to put that on this side. Does it need it? Doesn't really need it. Bugger it. It'll do for now. Okay, so that's all connected. They all go the same way, so that's a start. Suspension's back in the truck. Now, what do I need? Controller. Turn it on. Model D110. I believe I called it. If I didn't, this truck could well race off the bench. Yoink. Battery. Slide that in there. Just for those wondering, this truck will actually hold a full size pack in underneath that hard body. Epic. Now, if I remember correctly, this is on as soon as I plug it in. It's still a little noisy, but I mean, it's metal gears and such. My trim's a bit off. It is quieter than what it was. Channel 1 dopey, that's why it's not moving. No, wrong way. Lovely. So there's still a bit of slop in there, but I mean I can get over that. That's not the diff itself, I think that's actually in the transfer or the gearbox itself. Nearly tipped over my little tray. That would have been a hilarious disaster. Okay, so it's definitely quieter than the last one. But like I say, it is going to be a bit noisy because full metal, bolted to metal. There's nothing that can deaden the sound at all. What pack? This is a 5200 2S. So she's ready to hit the trails again and go and test her out, basically. See how she runs. Which is good. That wasn't very painful, was it? So, top tips. If you buy a truck like this, my back's killing me. Pull the motor apart. Make sure everything's meshing as good as you can get it before you put it all back together, because it is a lengthy process, as you've just witnessed, to take the motor out, check it, put it all back together. And I've done it before, so if it's your first go at it, there's going to be swear words, there's going to be a substantial amount of time taken to do it. If you need any help, message me and I'll ignore it. I won't. But anyway, on another live feed, not today, on another live feed I will endure to scale out the V8, show you how I do that and such. So that's a part of what I'll do on another one. It is very slow and smooth and how it crawls. I don't like all the metal on metal on metal on metal sound. It's just me. But it is what it is. Tough for me. Because you've got so much metal everywhere. I mean, I don't know if I could get away with trying to have some sort of rubber grommet somewhere in between where things bolt up. But it's fine. It's fine. I don't know why I took that off. Okay, so that's going to do it for today. Seriously though, this is the last live feed today. I will delete the ones that are just trash, and I'll rename the one before this as part 1, this being part 2. So yeah, always put the lid on your oil. Blows cross trucks out of the water. Are you taking the piss now or what? You need to watch my YouTube videos, mate, because it doesn't seem like you have. If you see, and I know you're probably just laughing right now, but if you watch this thing drive it'll scare you how smooth it is. I guarantee you. Slow, smooth, even the old farm truck. Sound unit. This one hasn't got one. The Camel hasn't got one. There's no room for one, if I'm honest. There's that much shit in that Camel truck. It's crazy. I've got stuff everywhere. There's no room for one. That's got one. That's got one. That hasn't got one. Most of my stuff has, but yeah. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, especially if you stuck around through all the boring crappy bits, because there's a few of those today. As I say, give it a share. I'm going to build those shocks now. Good! Look at that. Christian's going to build some demon shocks. Lovely. Robert says, hoppy eggs to... Jesus, Robert. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Good Friday. Take care over the little holiday that we have. Don't do anything stupid, alright? We can't take the piss out of it if you do something stupid. It makes us look bad. So take care. Have fun with the RCs. Get out there. Christian and I are going out on Sunday. Mammoth v Mammoth. Who wants a YouTube video? Smash a like if you want one of those. There's going to be one. I have to. Okay? It doesn't matter if you like it or not. I'm going to do one. So, Mammoth v Mammoth. Mammoth v Mammoth on Sunday. It's just going to be epic. I mean, it's pay-per-view, really. Massive event. So, we're going to do that. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be epic. I can't wait. I'm pumped for that. So, no backing out, Christian. I don't care if it's pissing down rain. We're going. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Give it a share. Someone might find this amusing or boring or whatever else. Shares get views. Views get us attention. With attention, I can hopefully give something like this away. That's my goal. Alright? I want to give away a cross truck or someone else's truck. Christian, can I give one of your trucks away? No. I want to give away a truck at some stage this year. It's my goal, and I'm going to make it happen. Worst case, I'll just have to buy it, and it's going to cost me a fortune. So if you'd like to donate to BCRC... Anyway, alright, we'll talk to you all soon. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.